Hey, what's going on, parents? Happy Teenager Tuesday. We are back after a 1-week hiatus with a culture update. I've got some really cool stuff coming up this summer in May. But before we kind of get into any of that stuff that's coming up in the future, today is culture update. And with me is somebody whose email all of you probably know, but maybe you don't know her face. It is the one and only Kira Watson. Hey, Kira, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? So excited to be here for Teenager Tuesday for this culture update. Just a little bit about me. I've been at Hope for almost 5 years.
Long time.
Worked under Will for most of those.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thanks. Worked here for almost 5 years. Have a husband, Skylar. He's fantastic. Our kids are animals. So we have a dog named Moses and 2 cats, one named Dave and one named Dipper that we just got, and he is preventing us from sleeping. So if you have a newborn out there, I kind of feel your pain a little bit.
Kind of.
Not really, but a little bit maybe.
A little bit. A taste of it. How's that?
A taste.
Yeah, not the full entree.
Yeah.
A little appetizer. That's
Yes.
good. Well, let's jump into what we're talking about today. Again, this is Culture Update. And as always, if you haven't yet already, please like and share. Subscribe if you're on YouTube or if you're on Spotify. Please share this with other parents as well, because hopefully I've been told by parents, man, this stuff is very helpful. Usually the culture updates are the ones we get the most kind of views and interaction with too, which is cool. Let's jump into it. There's really only 2 things, and then we're going to do some slang words, updated slang words out there.
Favorite.
That's right. The first thing is, Jonathan Hyatt, if we've talked a lot about parenting, that kind of stuff, or you and I as a parent and that kind of thing, you've probably heard me reference Jonathan Hyatt. He is just a brilliant researcher. He's a professor at NYU, and he has just such good insight into his research on Gen Z and next gen research, because Gen Z is kind of getting older now, which is crazy. But he had this very interesting article in The Atlantic that talked all about social media's impact on us as a country, painting with broad strokes, but us as a country and the social fabric over the last 10, 15 years. And so interesting, he actually used the Tower of Babel to kind of really reference and talk through, give an imagery of it, which one thing that he said in here, I won't read it all verbatim, but a few quotes, is he said, Babel, the Tower of Babel in Genesis, Babel is not a story of tribalism. He's saying God didn't strike the Tower of Babel and then immediately make people into these tribes. He said instead, it's a story about the fragmentation of everything. And he uses that as an illustration to kind of show what we thought social media was going to do, was to be this tower, or pre-Tower of Babel. Everybody speaks one language. Everybody kind of comes together and does one thing.
Yeah.
But instead, what's happening is it is a fragmentation of all the things and people groups and all the stuff that were out there anyways. He makes the argument that it doesn't bring unity. In fact, he quotes this one Twitter engineer who worked on the retweet button, which was a game changer at the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because for the first time you could retweet, and then it was like, I support this.
I share.
Yeah, exactly. I share. This is what I believe. What do you believe what I believe? Or you got to see where I stand on whatever issue or topic or whatever sports thing. I don't care. But he said the one of the engineers who worked on it later revealed that he regretted his contribution because what he said is that it made Twitter a nastier place.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is so strange. Yeah.
I
feel like I would think that being able to share your thoughts without having to formally write something that you may not be as knowledgeable about.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's a lot of the time when we share on social media, that's why we're sharing.
Yeah.
Because it's a topic that we may support or something like that, but we don't know a whole lot about it.
Yes.
And the people that wrote that post did. And so that's so strange, but it makes sense.
And yeah, it does. Kind of in hindsight, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Which I wish hindsight wasn't 2020.
Yeah.
Future. I don't know what future.
2025.
Forward side? I don't know. A few more quotes from him, which you got to go and read this. Again, Jonathan Hyatt, The Atlantic. He said, when people lose trust in institutions, they lose trust in the stories told by those institutions.
Wow. The structures we live in.
Yeah.
The institutions that we live in.
Yeah.
Family being one of the most important.
Yeah.
And I think that that's definitely something that we can take from this is that we need to build that family institution.
Yeah,
and we need to
be the
put
most
time
important.
and intention into family.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, then the institutions that we go back to, the one that should be the safest place, the place where we go when we need to rest or recuperate or anything like that, when we just need to be ourselves freely, family, if it's broken, then we don't have that.
Yeah.
It automatically is taken out, and so we start to look for it in different places, social media being one of them, probably.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's such a slow drift to this. You know, it's not like this violent, our family's great, now it's broken. It's like a drift of unintentionality, you
Yeah.
know, at least from my perspective. One more thing that he said in there, and again, go read this. He said, the most important change we can make to reduce the damaging effects of social media on children. He's specifically talking in this quote more so about young women, because it tends to hurt young girls more than guys, but it hurts both. He said what we can do to reduce the damaging effects of social media on children is to delay entry until they have passed through puberty.
Wow.
Not started puberty.
What would that mean? Like 18? An 18-year-old?
22?
Yeah.
You know?
24. I just turned 24.
Yeah.
Maybe a 24-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, golly.
He's saying the most important change to make is to wait
Yeah.
on social media, which us as a student ministry, we try not to, like, we tell people or young people, hey, if your parents aren't allowing it, great. You know?
Yeah,
But-
it's better.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good. I think social media, I want to say, came out when I was like 6th grade. I
Really?
think. I think.
Yeah.
Like, well, not Facebook, but like Instagram
Friendster
and stuff like that.
and
Yeah, like all of that
No,
stuff.
I'm just kidding.
I don't even know what that is.
That was before MySpace, before
Yeah.
Facebook.
Okay, so I
had
guess
Zynga.
like that stuff came out before
Yeah.
me. But like
Yeah.
I'm thinking like the current stuff, like Instagram, Facebook. Facebook came out when I was in elementary school probably. But man, there's so much like FOMO, fear of missing out, when
Yeah.
it comes to like not having social media or not being on social media. I talk to so many students and say like, hey, maybe it's good for you to take a little break, especially while we're at camp or when we're at movement for one weekend,
Yes.
literally 2 days
Yeah.
at movement. And they're like, but I want to post.
Yeah.
But what if nobody sees? Like
Yeah.
what it like nobody will see what I'm doing. Nobody
Yeah.
will know, or I might miss something.
Yeah.
What if one of my friends posts that they're with so and so and I don't know?
Yeah.
And it's
Wait.
like, well, why does it matter?
I know, but it does matter.
But it
now.
does. It for sure
the
does.
feeling of it matters, which again, Jonathan Haidt, he said for a lot of years in his research, he's shown like if you spend 2 hours or less on social media every day, then the amount of depression and anxiety and the growth of development that you're able to have because you spend less time, it just skyrockets. So I guess one takeaway would be delay as long as long as possible, and if you can't delay, 2 hours or less than 2 hours. Than 2 hours.
Limiting is definitely good.
yeah.
I try to limit myself.
I do too. Screen time.
Yes,
you know?
yeah, absolutely.
Model it.
It's so important.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah, to
model
model
it,
it
yeah.
and to like live it out. And
Yeah.
I think, I mean, even us not having kids, but being influential in students' lives, like it's so important for us to be modeling that.
Oh,
and
for
so,
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
as parents, they see what you do and they replicate it. And
Yes.
so, modeling what you want them to be like, and when it comes to social media and screen time and stuff like that, is so important.
Yeah, it is weird. But another thing that we wanted to mention in this culture update is Gallup just did a survey. Now, I'll kind of do these surveys in reverse. Gallup did a survey with Gen Z, the middle school, high school aged people, and they found in 2014 that the number of young adults, 18 to like 24, in 2014, the number who were identifying as LGBTQ plus was 3.5 or 3.7. And then 3 years later, 2017, it was 4.5. So
Okay.
there's a little bit of rising. However, the one they just did found 1 in 6.
Wow.
1 in 6 Gen Z adults, because Gen Z are now like they're not the middle school 5th graders.
Yeah.
They're now adults, or becoming adults, most of them, and 1 in 6
That's crazy.
identify LGBT plus.
That's
so
a big difference.
it is. It's huge. And for those of you out there If you're listening on Spotify, you can't see this, but we have a resource, a Hope resource that was made that is like, it's not super long. It's about 6 pages long that gives tips, helpful tips, conversational ways you can have conversations, scripture, the scripture in context, common questions that bring up common like rebuttals that kind of come up and that kind of thing. So please, if you don't take advantage of any other resource that we have, that we make, that we put out there, please take advantage of this one. Be ready. Even if the conversation hasn't happened or if it has already happened, this is going to help you have that conversation even better in the future. So check that out at hopefellowship.net/parent resources. So find that in there. To end today, let's talk about some slang words.
Slang words.
Slang words.
I love it.
You want to tell them about the first one?
Yes.
Because you had never heard of this.
No.
Yeah.
So the first one that we have is 9, not the word 9, but the number 9. Yeah. And basically it means that a parent is watching.
Yeah.
Or probably just any adult, honestly. They could use it for that, but man.
It's kind of a like, hold, wait,
yeah,
hey,
hang on, wait, don't talk, don't continue.
Say, yes.
A parent's
9.
watching.
9.
Yeah, 9.
Alarm! Alarm! Yes.
Yes.
So if you see that, you know, you have access to your students like text messages or something like that. Like, and you see 9, it's because they're like, well, hold on, don't talk yet.
Yeah, and maybe follow up with that conversation and see
exactly.
what that was about.
Yeah. And on a positive slang, something you can use that would probably give some eye rolls is understood the assignment. That's understood. So when you say about someone like she understood her assignment, yeah, it just means like they knew what they were supposed to do and they killed it. Mm-hmm. So if you want to give a compliment with a slang word, maybe give an eye roll. You know, hey, you mowed the lawn and you understood the assignment.
Understood the assignment.
And they go, Mom, your dad.
They do say it all the time.
They do. It's great. Hey. We love y'all. And signing off today, as a reminder, as always, you can do this. You're not alone. God is with you, and so are we. Have a great week.